What if your brain could actually repair itself while you sleep, simply by eating the right fruit before bed? It sounds almost too simple, but the science behind neurogenesis and overnight memory sharpening is more powerful than most people realize. Tonight, we are going to walk through exactly which fruits trigger your brain's natural rebuilding process while you rest, how they sharpen memory, and why the timing matters more than you think. And before we wrap up, we are going to reveal one surprising swap in the frozen aisle that not only protects your joints, but also triggers deep cellular cleanup inside your brain. If you have ever wondered whether food could genuinely change how your brain functions overnight, stay with us until the very end, because what comes next might completely change what you reach for before bed. And what you eat directly controls how much of it your brain produces each night. Your brain is not a fixed, finished organ. It does not stop changing after childhood. In fact, your brain retains the ability to generate new neurons and repair existing ones well into your later decades. This process is called neurogenesis, and it is far more active than most people realize. Now here's the critical part. The majority of this repair work happens while you sleep. During deep sleep, your brain clears waste, strengthens connections, and rebuilds. But this process does not happen in isolation. This is why blueberries are consistently ranked among the most targeted and effective brain foods available to you today. Could a small handful of berries actually delay memory decline by more than 2 years? It sounds almost too simple, but the science behind blueberries is genuinely remarkable. The key lies in a group of compounds called anthocyanins. These are the pigments that give blueberries their deep blue and purple color, and they behave very differently from most antioxidants. What makes anthocyanins extraordinary is their ability to cross the blood-brain barrier, the highly selective membrane that shields your brain from most substances circulating in your body. Most antioxidants never make it through. Anthocyanins do. What makes blueberries truly remarkable goes beyond their antioxidant power. Eating them regularly activates a process called mild autophagy, which works like a deep cellular cleanup crew inside your brain. During this process, damaged proteins and cellular debris are cleared from neurons, allowing brain cells to function more efficiently and communicate with greater precision. Think of it as your brain taking out the trash while you rest. This cleanup is especially active during sleep, which is exactly why timing matters. Now here is the finding that changes everything. Research shows that consuming just a half cup to a full cup of blueberries daily can delay memory decline by up to 2.5 years. That is not a minor shift. That is measurable, meaningful protection available at your local grocery store starting tonight. That question might sound playful, but the science behind it is genuinely fascinating. When you sleep, your brain is not resting. It is actively consolidating every experience, conversation, and detail from your day, deciding what to keep and what to discard. What you eat before bed can directly influence how well that process works. This is where oranges become surprisingly important. A single medium orange delivers a powerful dose of vitamin C, one of the most effective antioxidants your brain relies on. During sleep, neurons are especially vulnerable to oxidative stress, which is essentially cellular damage caused by unstable molecules. Vitamin C neutralizes those molecules, protecting the neurons responsible for storing memories. It also supports the chemical environment your brain needs to properly consolidate the information gathered throughout the day, so those memories actually stick by morning. Now let's talk about bananas, and why one medium banana before bed might be one of the smartest things you can do for your brain. Bananas contain tryptophan, an amino acid your brain actively converts into serotonin and then into melatonin. Most people know melatonin as a sleep aid, but its role goes much deeper than simply helping you fall asleep. When melatonin levels rise naturally through tryptophan conversion, they create the precise chemical environment your brain needs to shift into full repair mode. Serotonin stabilizes your mood and reduces the mental noise that keeps your brain from settling into deep sleep cycles. And it is during those deep cycles that your brain strengthens neural connections, clears cellular waste, and consolidates everything you experience throughout the day. A banana is not just a snack. It is a neurological signal. So here is the bottom line on overnight brain repair. Eating an orange or a banana before bed is not a complicated protocol. It is not expensive. It does not require a prescription or a supplement stack. These are foods you can find at any grocery store for less than $1 each. And yet the science shows that doing this consistently gives your brain the chemical environment it needs to strengthen neural connections while you sleep. Vitamin C from oranges helps neurons survive the night. Tryptophan from bananas gives your brain the serotonin and melatonin it needs to do its deepest repair work. Over time, these small nightly habits add up to measurable improvements in how well your brain holds onto information, processes memories, and stays sharp into the next day and beyond. It is a meaningful nutritional decision that your brain genuinely benefits from every single time. Could you actually fight brain inflammation using nothing but the peel of an apple? It sounds almost too simple, but the science behind it is surprisingly compelling. Apple skin contains a concentrated amount of quercetin, a plant compound that has been studied specifically for its anti-inflammatory effects inside the brain. What makes quercetin particularly relevant is where it does its work. Research points to the hippocampus as a primary target, and that matters because the hippocampus is the region most responsible for forming and storing memories. When inflammation builds in that area, memory suffers. Quercetin helps reduce that inflammatory response directly. This is exactly why eating the whole apple, skin included, is not just a texture preference. Strawberries bring something equally powerful to this conversation. Their benefit targets a specific type of brain inflammation that most people have never heard of: microglial inflammation. Microglia are your brain's dedicated immune cells. Their job is to protect neural tissue from damage and infection, but when they become chronically overactivated, often due to poor diet, stress, or poor sleep, they begin attacking healthy brain cells instead of protecting them. This overactivation is now linked to long-term cognitive decline and even early-stage neurodegeneration. Strawberries contain compounds that help calm this overactive immune response inside the brain, essentially telling your microglia to stand down. This adds a critical second layer of anti-inflammatory protection, working alongside quercetin to shield the brain's most vulnerable systems from the inside out. And the best part is that this protection builds gradually with each consistent choice you make. Each of these fruits does something powerful on its own, but when you combine blueberries, oranges, bananas, apples, and strawberries regularly, you begin supporting something called the gut-brain axis. This is the communication highway running between your digestive system and your brain, and it plays a direct role in how clearly you think, how well you focus, and how effectively you form new memories. The fiber and polyphenols from these fruits feed beneficial gut bacteria, which then send positive signals directly to the brain through this pathway. Over time, this cumulative effect creates a genuinely protective environment around your neurons. Focus sharpens. Memory becomes more reliable. Mental clarity improves in ways that feel noticeable in everyday life. The frozen aisle might be the most underrated section in the entire store for brain health. If your evenings include processed deli meats, protein bars loaded with artificial additives, or packaged snacks with long ingredient lists, those choices can quietly work against everything your brain is trying to do overnight. The swap is simple. Replace those with the fruits covered in this video. And here is the frozen aisle reveal worth staying for. Frozen blueberries and frozen strawberries are not a compromise. Studies confirm they retain their anthocyanins, their quercetin, and their anti-inflammatory compounds just as effectively as fresh versions. They also support mild autophagy, that cellular cleanup process that removes debris from brain cells, and they actively reduce joint inflammation at the same time. Your brain does its best repair work while you sleep, so give it exactly what it needs. Adding just a quarter teaspoon of turmeric to your fruit routine creates a powerful synergy that amplifies both brain and joint benefits simultaneously. Turmeric contains curcumin, which works alongside the anthocyanins, quercetin, and vitamin C from your fruits to reduce inflammation at a deeper cellular level. You do not need a complicated recipe. Simply sprinkle it over your fruit bowl or blend it into a smoothie each evening. Most people begin noticing real improvements in focus and mental clarity within 2 to 4 weeks of making these consistent swaps. Your action plan starting tonight is simple. Grab blueberries, strawberries, an orange, a banana, and an apple. Add a pinch of turmeric.